Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and Rich Lopp here for the Awakening Experience here on the last week of winter. What's going on, Rich? How are you doing, brother?
What's up, man?
You know, a lot. How about you?
Well, yeah, I mean, the way you titled the video, I think is so appropriate because I don't normally like to get off on, putting content out there that's meant to, hook people and whoa people like, oh my God, the thing is coming, but dude, this is like seriously building up so fast.
It really is.
Yeah, it just blows my mind, the things that they're doing, and it keeps proving my intuitive feeling more and more and more how much they're gearing up for this. That every time I say it, I kind of step back and think to myself, well, yeah, but what if they're just, leading us to believe something, and then it's gonna take off in another direction and whatnot. But it just keeps building and building and building. And I still very firmly stand on Aries season being something. Something is gonna pop off in Aries season.
Yeah.
I mean, would you feel that?
Yeah, I mean, especially this eclipse, which of course will be out in Texas in the middle of this eclipse. TeamLightStore.com/events. We're gonna be out there with Team Light April 8th, and you can still get rooms. We've got a block of rooms. You can find it all at that website. And the tickets are cheap
too.
Yeah, and so I think that eclipse is, number one, just to kind of go into the eclipse, some new things that are possible. It's not yet for sure, but there could be an actual comet that's going to be, and they're calling it the devil comet with devil horns, ironically enough, that if you are in the line of the eclipse, right, the total, that all the planets are with the sun. So you can't see the planets like when it comes at night, right? The sun's with all the planets, so you don't see the planets. To be able to see the planets is already going to be possible with the total solar eclipse. Then the fact that we're going to possibly have a comet that's going to be coming, that we'd be able to see the comet in the middle of the day, but it would be night in the middle of the day, adds to the omen. It's an old word that's not used that much, but there's an omen to this eclipse. It's ushering something extreme in.
Yeah.
And I think that with some of the stuff we're going to cover today, I mean, whether it's, we already have talked about the Biden fake picture thing, but now that, it's happening on the other side of the world with the monarchy, with Princess Kate, and they're actually admitting it, and the press is admitting it. Mm-hmm. I think that's a test for America too, right? It's a test on both sides. It's like for Britain, like, oh, wait, what do you mean? Like, there's possibility that they're fucking with us in our own monarchy. That's like the beginning of it.
Yeah.
But then exposing it is like, here's the proof, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in America, it's like the test of like, people know it, just the media won't admit it. But like, how are the people responding to it with the media admitting it? It's a weird dichotomy.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. That's what gets me in this funny little funk, because I can even remember a few years ago I was thinking that, well, you know what, even if the mainstream media did start coming out and telling the truth, there's so many of us that don't trust the media. Would we even trust it? It's kind of like, for example, this may be a silly example, but what if all of a sudden McDonald's started selling really healthy food?
Yeah.
Would anybody even trust it? So
what about their smoothie, bro? Their fucking strawberry fucking banana smoothie, bro. Fucking
yeah. So it's got me in this weird place where it's interesting that the media is starting to point things out, but then I'm stepping back and I'm like, well, should I even trust that? Should I even believe that? Maybe they're just using that as a distraction from something else, and it's so convoluted and hard to follow. And I think they're doing a very good job at whatever rabbit they pull out of the hat is going to shock even us, like even some of the most spiritual people out there and some of the most world-renowned psychics and channelers and whatnot. I think we'll all be shocked.
Yeah, and I think there's a small amount of people that are not going to be shocked. Like to us, the shock is kind of more of the, finally the relief.
Yeah.
And I think that's the position to take, is like, hey, there's nothing shocking happening. It's just like, maybe the shock more is like, oh, they finally did it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not that shocking. It's already been so much in your face. I mean, I think that to kind of take those two examples, because we can go to the Kate thing forever, but to be honest with you, that's something I actually have been talking about on full disclosure with Natalie for the last, like, I don't know, 2 months about, is I looked at her chart and I was like, there's something hidden going on here. She's not going in for surgery about abdominal, and something's going on with King Charles at the same time. And then it came out that he has prostate cancer, right? So he could die soon, right? And then he went to a holistic only doctor before he made that announcement. But a holistic doctor, technically from the standpoint of the monarchy, is like the old alchemy where they were like using skull fucking shit and the blood of young people that die, like tragically. Like, this isn't new. Like, this is actually in medical records of how the monarchy and people of Europe used to treat disease, was by, if somebody dies at 24 years old, you leave their body out for a night under the moon, and then you fucking make your fucking, they're trying to like recreate a lot of alchemical shit that was used for hundreds of years. It's in the Lancet as well. And I feel like that's what's happening at the same time. But I also think that they're having an affair, but that's a whole other story. But I think what's bigger is like looking at, in America, Tucker Carlson and Chris Cuomo coming together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when COVID started, which this is going to be 4 years this week for at least California, was the first state to lock down, March 17th. The first fucking two people that, you know, you got to see the opposing sides about this whole situation were those two.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And it was Chris Cuomo, like, you know, I'm sick. I'm going to go. I got COVID and I'm going to be the one that's going to like self-report at home being sick.
Yeah.
Right. And now he's voting for Trump. He's totally like, Trump's going to win. It's like flipping and making people go crazy on the other side. Whereas, like, let's say if Tucker came out and said, I'm voting for Biden, I'm not going to fucking lose my shit.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a unfortunate kind of lean in a huge direction of the collective that's really trapped in this kind of like fake government takeover of their lives and using manipulated pictures. Because with the Kate thing, you have to think, how long have they been doing that, right? Mm-hmm. Anybody who's not thinking that is already kind of in the weird thing. But I would love for you to describe how you think, how weird is it, how you described it to me about how it's all coming together.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, I think the whole thing was a plan from the get-go, because, you know, you have Fox News and you have CNN. These are the two main, you know, sources of information for the right and the left. And then
the American Gladiators.
Yeah.
And the red and the blue.
And they have their main front men. They have Tucker and then they have Chris. And then right at the same time, both of those media networks fire them both. And then Tucker's followers follow him away from the media, and Chris's followers follow him away from the media. And then they both came back together and are leading everybody back around together to the same spot. Yeah. Which kind of goes right along in with what I was saying about how I think that they're going to start doing things in a way that the public understands. They're going to open as many eyes as they can before they throw the next shit show. And the fact that they're doing that so fast, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that Chris Cuomo is coming out voting for Trump and whatnot. What surprises me is how fast they're doing it.
Yes.
I was kind of, around the beginning of 2024, I was thinking, okay, it might be a slow lead up, possibly. You know, we may not hear things building up until like maybe June or July. But here we are coming up to the end of Pisces season, and we already got like the main talking head for the left voting for Trump publicly.
I know.
That's big in my opinion.
The guy who ushered the whole COVID thing in.
Yeah.
Like he was the talking head that wasn't the government, right? It was of course Fauci who was the one up there with Dr. Burke, like those two. And then everybody forgets, then they put Vice President Pence in charge of this whole entire operation. Like Trump was like, I'm putting the vice president in charge of COVID. People forget about that because there's another thing that's really weird in the middle of all this is like Biden's speech at the fucking State of the Union, where they prop him up as this flailing, person, right? Always showing him fall. I don't have my memory. And then obviously, whether he's real or not, if it's real, they drug the shit out of him, right? And he comes up fucking like a tyrant, even screams at the Supreme Court. No president's ever done that before. And then when he brings up the vaccine, saying that it's curing cancer now, which ironically, it's the vaccine that's giving people the cancers, right? That's what the data is showing. But it's then Trump then saying, you're stealing my vaccine, where every Trump voter does not agree with the vaccine. So it's like it's a fucking weird psyop happening right now. Yeah. And then last night, both Trump and Biden are now the nominees, right? Yeah. Now, that's not official till the DNC and the RNC this summer, but to this point, with the voting at least, those are the two candidates. And then both the heads of the R and the DNC were just swapped, right? And actually, his daughter-in-law is the co-chair of the RNC now, Laura Trump. So it's getting to where it's all setting itself up. And then RFK is possibly going to pick Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, who's been very vocal against the shot. And then Jesse Ventura, who's the guy who did his show, who literally went and found the woman, and she wouldn't even come to America. He had to go all the way down fucking South America. And she was like, I won't even go there. I know the plan. The agenda is to fucking put out a vaccine. They're going to make it look like it's voluntary, but they're going to force it upon people. And this is like in 2007 and 8. Right? So you're starting to see this wake-up process go massive. And then you have Tucker, who was the one who was like calling out COVID as bullshit on major network television, right? Yeah. And it was weird because I would watch both. I would always go, all right, what is Chris Cuomo saying right now about this whole thing? Oh, okay. What's Tucker saying? And then, of course, just like, what is the astrology saying? What is the spiritual community saying? And of course, I was one of those voices. So I was like, well, okay, look at the bullshit happening here. But it's so weird that you're right. Like, they fucking brought them at the, like, and that was actually the beginning of the conversation was, I guess Chris Cuomo called Tucker to tell him, I hope you're doing okay by being fired because I've been through it. And that's what started their friendship now. So it's like they also have been having a friendship that they just revealed. Right? Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think I could be wrong on this. I kind of go a little bit extreme when I'm talking. I
like that though. That's why I love Rich Lopp.
I seriously firmly believe that it was all planned out to go down this way.
I agree.
I hold the belief that all of the hard work was done back between 2020 and 2021. The majority of the bad guys who needed to be taken out were taken out. All that work was done behind the scenes, and they've been doing this little show, this little movie, for the most part. I mean, it's a movie, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it because crazy shit is still happening. We're still going through a demolition of the old system. It's just going to be a very carefully controlled demolition. And, before they knock down that first domino, they need as many eyes open as possible because, they can't make you open your eyes. The only thing they can do is make it to where if you have the slightest bit of fucking common sense, if you have a brain cell in your head, you will open your eyes and see what's going on. And if you don't, you wouldn't fucking make it in the new world anyways. I hate to sound like that, but I'm really at that point now where it's like, of all this shit that they're doing right now, it sounds fucking horrible, but if you're too stupid to see it, you wouldn't make it in the new world anyway.
That's true.
So,
well, and I think when you take just what's happened in this last week, the whole entire, that's a weird situation. You see Chris Cuomo, then also next to Candace Owen, and they're like buddy. And even though I've watched a lot of the podcasts, they also fought about some stuff, but they're on the same page with a lot of things, right? And so you're seeing this movement towards pay attention over here, which anybody who follows what has been told for you to do, and you did, is what's ended you up in TikTok too, which is now just today, Congress has now passed in a high majority for the ban. Now it's got to go through the Senate, and then supposedly AI Biden or whoever he is supposedly going to sign the bill.
Thank God.
But the freak out of the TikTok community.
Yeah.
Right? So you thought that protesting was bad. It was weird because there was the movie Ready Player One about the VR world in 2045, right? And in that movie, what they say is there was the broadband wars at the beginning. They say that it was in 2027 that the problems that were trying to be fixed, people just gave up on trying to fix the problems because it became impossible. And then the world became this kind of place to where everybody's living in fucking, a life where they don't really do much except live in their little fucking, shipping container and have Amazon deliver a fucking pizza to them and their food so they can get back into VR world. That's where they make their money. That's where they are trying to all look for a prize to make money, to live a good life. And I think it's kind of weird because I feel like the beginning of this TikTok is the beginning of like the social media, also the broadband wars, because we've also been seeing countries threatening to cut off underwater broadband, which I think that people don't remember that America and in where we see always Davos with the WEF is where CERN is, and CERN is where the internet started, and it was an American patent, and so the internet is America, and so all the broadband lines go under the ocean, and so there's this really weird thing where there's been some threats to cut internet that's been happening over in the Middle East and all that stuff lately, and then you have America now putting we're not putting boots on the ground, we're putting them on the water, on the shore in Gaza, and supporting Gaza, and then trying to support Israel, and that's just waiting for this World War III situation. Then I just showed you again today, Putin's talking about we're ready for nuclear war. We don't want it to come to that, but like we're doing it. Then America just fitted every F-35 to be able to drop nukes, which is our number one. That's our 5th generation fucking fighter. And then the UK just finally released their fucking new laser that fucking takes shit out fucking in space or whatever and fucking shows you the fucking holes it puts through things. Mm-hmm. Of course, we're seeing the lasers come down on homes and fucking fire.
Yeah.
But like, that's all since the last show a week ago.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to the TikTok thing, oh, thank fucking God. I mean, okay, I know. Well, and I hate to sound this way because being a career influencer myself, I don't wish anybody,
of course,
to lose their source of income. But I seriously believe that
if there even is a source of income through there.
Well, I don't know. I've heard a lot of speculation, but I mean, everybody has their reasons. People who don't like TikTok have their reasons. I mean,
right.
The government's spying and they have all your information. They track everything you do. That's not my number one concern. My number one concern, and I may stand alone on this, but the psychological fucking effects that TikTok has exposed a level of stupidity that exists in humanity that I didn't even fathom was possible.
Right.
I cannot believe the ignorant, brainless bullshit that people are not only putting on TikTok, but sitting around watching. It scares me every time, and this sounds horrible. This is probably my shadow side of Aquarius coming out, but every time I see how stupid humans are, it blows my mind. And maybe it needed to happen. Maybe that needed to be exposed, but
actually you're on the right mark. You know why? The problem with TikTok is it is this most I know that there's some people who are like, well, I find really good info because there's good people that are putting out truth shit on there. Yeah. They're few and far between though. Yeah. And what's really crazy is the algorithm in which it does. It's constantly to flip. And then what I've noticed on it, because I've not spent much time, you'll be flipping and then it will go to some random person you don't even follow is like live stream and like you're in the live stream. Do you want to be in it right now? And then flip. Yeah. And then a live stream and then flip. And these people are just doing it 24/7. Like, yeah. But what it reminds me of is when we were talking about the Apple Vision Pro, you're not seeing TikTok people buy it. The only people that are buying it are literally people who are using it for coding. So actually what's been revealed is the Apple Vision Pro is for coding and making the actual structures of the new kind of entertainment / VR world, because it's only expensive, but it's only for people that understand how to even use it. Most people that I've put it on, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Whereas like what owns the other big VR is Meta. So who's going to win out of this TikTok war? Meta. Everybody's going to have to go to Instagram. But what they don't realize is they're going to have to go on to the Meta, because that's where it's all at. Even on our accounts for Facebook, and it's all through Meta. And Meta is what owns Oculus, and it's like Meta View on my Ray-Ban sunglasses, Meta fucking Oculus, which for your fucking VR. And that's where they're trying to suck everybody into. And what they've done with TikTok is go, we now know exactly what the shit is, because if you go on a Meta Quest, okay, or you go on an Apple Vision Pro is like literally like programs that are boring to most people, not too entertaining. But for me, coding, I can go in spatial and create. And I'm also an Oculus developer too, but it's a lot harder on Oculus as far as like what I want to do with, like, let's say using AI and integrating, you know, Xcode and do all this cool shit and Swift UI and go into Reality Kit. What I'm seeing right now is this, like, people not seeing it, that it's all about putting everything into Meta. All the politicians, what are their stock? Meta. And then it's like they used TikTok because 2020 they tried to ban it, right? Then the government banned it for government use. It was going to be banned already. They've already had this under a plan. So if people think right now, oh, it's not going to happen or something. Oh, it's totally going to happen. That's where, because they're giving it a 5-month date. Like, okay, ByteDance has 5 months to disconnect itself from TikTok or it's banned in America. If you just look at the 5 months, that's when we're going to come into the next eclipse cycle. And where this fall into the winter is going to be the fucking end of 2024, where the shit really fucking goes like to the quadruple, like the quantum down fucking extreme, right? But they used it as a way to know that people in metaverse, that's where it's just going to be about stupid people doing stupid shit. And like, it's like a clown show.
Yeah.
And what's weird is there's going to be an elite class. Apple's about to release their AI, right? So then you have OpenAI and you have all this shit happening with, like, okay, they've found a way and they won't reveal how you can just type in what you want and we'll make a video of it. Fucking perfect, right? They won't reveal how they did it. It just came out today in a big article. They won't reveal it. They won't even expose it. So there's going to be this elite class of who uses spatial computing and who uses higher class devices and stuff, and then lowball people who are like TikTok energy and that are going to be on Meta Quests, and they're just going to be living in that fucking world. And that's what's sad about Ready Player One is I always ask the question in that movie, I'm like, why do they only show the poor people and they're all going for this prize of 3 keys to get half the company off some guy who's like a nerd who owned the company who died? Like, that's exactly what they're trying to push everybody into right now. It's like, accept the inflation, accept the financial crash, and just go into being basic and normal. And as long as you're able to flip, but now it's going to be through Meta and Instagram. And you guarantee you watch, Instagram will change its look. Because if you remember when Instagram brought out the Reels, it was like, you're copying TikTok.
Yeah.
But to see everybody losing their shit over it, that's already a sign. I mean, that's going to be the toilet paper issue we had 4 years ago times infinity.
Well, I have another little speculation too, and this is just purely my own speculation. I don't have any evidence to prove this. This is just an intuitive feeling that I have. I believe that TikTok also has something energetically about it.
That's not light.
That there's something vibrational or energetic that hooks you in somehow.
Reptilian.
Yeah, like I don't know if maybe, I mean, because you know that your phone puts out frequencies. They can push a button and make your phone emit a frequency that'll start a fight between you and your wife. They can do that. They have the technology to do that. And it would not surprise me in the least if when you have TikTok going, your phone is emitting a certain frequency.
Yep.
That's what I feel. I mean, I cannot think of any other reason as to how that sucked so many people in, and how so many people can get so addicted to looking at the stupidest, most brainless bullshit. I hate to keep beating that drum, but I seriously think there's something a lot more sinister involved in that, especially.
Do you know when TikTok was released and became extremely popular? The moment the pandemic started.
Oh.
And when I got on there, because it just was the new thing, right? It was right when the lockdown started, and I moved in the studio, and of course I didn't lock myself down, but I'm like, I'm going to be at work in case they try some crazy shit. So I lived here, and they were the first ones to do augmented reality, where you could like take a fucking weird, I had a gorilla or a dinosaur and putting him in the room and like walking towards me, right? And weird shit like that. So they were the first ones to bring in the Pokemon Go 2017 augmented reality, where they've already been augmenting. Your whole home has already been figured out in your phone, right? Yeah. Right. So like in all the spaces and all the Ring doorbells. And that's what this bill does too, is allows the government to access all the data to protect American interest, right? Of all of our cameras, all of our phones, and all the apps that are on our phones, but not allowing it because if it's part of a Chinese foreign government, that it won't be allowed. But American companies, they're still going to filter through and hold the data themselves. So it's really a data, dick fucking who's bigger show, right? Control show. But to me, it's like, if you think about the idea of the vibration, like you said, of TikTok, it was instant gratification that never gives you it.
Yeah.
I mean, I did blow when I was young. Not a lot though, because it never gives you what you want, right?
Yeah.
And that TikTok, that's what it is. It's like a hit after a hit, and it's not enough, and it doesn't actually deliver. You feel dirty coming off of TikTok.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a different feeling for me. Like, I very quickly got into the YouTube Shorts feed, mainly because the content they would show me for the most part was interesting. But, if you feel it out, if you pay attention to your energy when you're using certain apps, the vibration is different from app to app. The feeling is different. Haven't you noticed that on certain platforms, there are certain people that are more apt to be in a certain mood, like Instagram typically tends to have the most bitchy, miserable, angry, hateful people when it comes
the funniest memes.
Yeah. But whenever you switch from one platform to another, the energy feels different and people's behavior is different on each app, and just the thing about the TikTok though, man, as soon as I opened it, it just felt weird. It felt off. I tried to get into it. I got a TikTok. I even made a page for this show, and I tried to get into it, but just something felt so off. And
it was also TikTok that created the BLM movement so extreme.
Oh.
Right? And spread that like wildfire. So like you have to see that from like that whole CCP communist shit. Like if you look at the past, it was about Russia. They're trying to still put that as the old subconscious to make you actually get bitten into the thing that's happening of the actual communist takeover that's trying to happen from China, right? And that's what's really weird is that when you're on there, it's like every social justice thing is on TikTok, right? That's where all the fucking trans movement thing has become so huge.
Yeah.
And that's where so many kids have become trans because of what they saw on TikTok, right? But then you mix it with, the vibration's weird. It's all the people that didn't get the glam on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because Instagram was about glam show, right? Like the hot model who's on a yacht and taking her pictures in the Maldives.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it was about. And so all the gamers go to Twitch, but the people that are in between, I'm not that great. Okay? I'm not that great of a person. I don't know how to build a following. TV will never want me. Instagram didn't want me. Let's funnel all the people that make them, that it's the self-worth lowest energy. That's what it is. It's the lowest self-worth energy place.
Yeah.
And the way they made it is put a video of me in front of like a thing and just be talking in front of it. Right. Yeah. And like, that's why people who have like really high quality videos and shit, you don't see that much on TikTok because it's like other TikTokers don't follow you unless you feel like you're going through pain, victimization, or that you're just one of the people you can relate to that's not making it, but God, I hope you make it.
Yeah.
And that's what the CCPs wanted, right? But that's also what America's wanted, is like, they've used all the social media networks. Is like, where are the intellectuals at? They've used the devices. Which iPhone do you have? Which Samsung do you have? Or do you not even have a Samsung? Which MacBook do you have? All the technology and all the devices is helping them understand the census. And that to me is very alien tech. Like there's some sort of alternate force taking over these humans doing this shit, because it's all hive kind of shit and knowing where the hives are. Like all the people who are collecting over on TikTok, they're like, well, they'll do anything we want them to. Right? Like if Facebook were to come down, I don't think all the grandmas cooking fucking cookies right now are going to go fucking have a Facebook flag running in the streets. Right? Same thing with Instagram. They're just going to jump to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
The chicks that make money off Instagram, or those kind of people, right? And then the YouTubers, well, that's really, you know, I guess you could go to Rumble, or most YouTubers go build their own networks, you know, or now are at the place where they move to television and they move to becoming a famous boxer. That's now, you know, now we're seeing, I don't know what you think about that whole, what's his name that came out, that boxer to fucking Andrew Tate, who Andrew Tate just got arrested again yesterday.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah. Huh. He went, there's two parts of the story, but one part is that he fucking told some blogger, like, let's do this blog because my court case is coming up and I'm going to try and leave Romania really soon. Like before the court case, I'm going to just try and like never come back and just bail out. So they're saying that's why they fucking arrested him. But then he did take the interview with, what's his name? The boxer fucking that just
one of the Paul brothers, or
no, he's that boxer who started coming out, Ryan Garcia, yeah. Right? And fucking how he was saying that he was at Bohemian Grove, and then he got raped and all that shit, and then he just went out of nowhere and was like, well, I'm not going to be talking about that shit anymore. I'm just going to be talking about boxing because I still got to do that. And it's hard to find his videos. People are like taking his videos and doing all this weird shit with it, and it's just like, I don't actually believe that guy. From what I've seen, it seems like a psyop thing. And then when they showed his behind the scene footage of Bohemian Grove, I'm like, that's the fucking Alex Jones footage. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a fucking old video camera. This kid was born when the video camera for that came out. Like, where is your fucking iPhone video that's fucking a lot clearer that you would have been zooming like a typical 20-year-old? Like, not like, unless he was 2 and he had an iPhone, or was he 2 years old and he had a VHS tape fucking at Bohemian Grove? It doesn't make sense. And what's really, I think, stirring about all that is that's all coming from that TikTok world, right? Or the fact that you see Biden, who already had, the government's banned it, yet if he's really the government, he wouldn't be allowed to be on TikTok, but he just joined during the Super Bowl.
Did he?
Yeah. So that's a bigger, deeper thing to look at, is like, the paid actors through the TikTok culture that come to the peak moment of like allowing, because I know a lot of TikTok people that got banned to talk about any of this shit, right? They get banned all the time on there. It's the #1 banning fucking site is TikTok. But letting this guy fucking get out and say this shit and put out fake Bohemian Grove shit that ain't his, right? And then fucking at the same time, you have Biden, who the government. So if Biden is the government, part of the government, you're not allowed to be on TikTok.
Yeah.
How is he allowed to be on TikTok? That means he's not the government.
Yeah.
That's the thing to realize. And then that they're using other things and people to fucking feed you bullshit to fucking get you to buy into it when it's all happening right in front of your face right now. And then even this Kate thing with the fake picture thing, it's like, okay, when they're fucking with the kids in there too, the kids' skirt, something's missing. What the fuck's really going on is you're seeing America show you the video. Biden's falling. Biden can't talk. Then he's fucking Hitler when he's up doing his State of the Union address on fucking hyped up on speed. And now we're seeing, a new king who comes in. I've got fucking prostate cancer. At the same time, I'm going to go get treated, and the princess is going to go get a fucking abdominal surgery, and they actually put out fake pictures, get caught, and just apologize for being caught.
Yeah.
And don't say anything else. Obviously, that's the takedown of the world that we thought. But the scary part is when they say New World Order, this is how they're trying to roll it in.
Yeah.
You know,
what would be, what I'm trying to think is what would be the point of that Ryan Garcia making that shit up? What would he have to gain out of that? Is he, I'm confused about that.
From my analysis, and this, I might not, again, this is my belief. This is not truth, right? I don't think that this is truth. This is just my own personal belief. I went and looked at some of the videos over the last couple of days to look more into this. And I'm like, number one, he's with Andrew Tate on Twitter Spaces or on X Spaces and fucking comes out with this. And he's obviously drunk. And Andrew Tate goes, you need to be more on point on this. Are you sure you don't sound too believable, right? And he calls him out on that. Then he goes on his own TikTok, right? And he fucking is doing this shit and putting on the fake hat, putting on all these weird fucking things.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you saw some of that shit.
Some of it,
okay.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all geared towards aiming at like that Gen Z and lower like people to connect with. And then at the same time, kind of like throwing to him with this weird Caesar's crown on a couch. It doesn't look like him either. It looks like it's a fucking AI or it's a fucking clone, where he's like, I'm not going to be talking about any of this stuff anymore. I'm just going to be talking about boxing only. Then to find these videos, it's only through other people who screen recorded during the live. Like you can't just go to the live where he said all this shit. To me, that's all right. The fact that they're using the Bohemian Grove thing and anything I've seen, unless somebody can send me something different, that's the old Bohemian Grove footage from like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not new. So why are they saying that he's leaking this? And I couldn't believe the reaction videos of all these young kids actually believing that. I think it's a setup to be like the dark being a way of being like, that's old footage. Like,
oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, because now, is this guy credible? He's got always this girl who you don't know, who, by the way, this guy's a fucktard. I just realized in the beginning of the year, he had a baby. And the day he had the baby, he put, here's my baby boy. The next day, he says, my wife and I are splitting up. And he divorced his wife the day after they had the baby. Then he went out just 2 weeks after that and was hitting up, I don't even know the girl's name, but some fucking famous model chick and was like, fuck girl, I want to take you to dinner. She's a fucking 100. When I mean 100, a 100. So 2 weeks later, after having a baby and divorcing his wife, he's already publicly saying like, I want to fucking take her out, fucking fuck her rampant. Then he's coming out and saying this shit as, you know what I mean? like,
Yeah, so basically,
it's hard to.
So it's like a controlled op where the dark side is having him, you know, put all the conspiracies out there and then make him look like an idiot so that people think that.
I don't think people think he's an idiot though. That's the thing. I think it's like a weird representation of like the Gen Z culture, right? Is like they have to be talked to like little kids and and you have to put on like stupid fucking filters and and I think that's the whole exposing of the TikTok shit, right? That there's like something about it that you have to lower your whole spiritual vibration to even listen to the message. Like to get some sort of truth bomb, you have to listen to this random dude who's a fucktard already and who's fucking claiming that he was raped at 2 years old and all that shit. And he's just throwing out, well, I can't say this and I can't say that. And they take my money away and they do this. And then, but I'm hitting up for some bitch publicly that I want to go on a date with who's famous. Like, it just makes me feel like it's like, okay, he's probably compromised, or it's just somebody paying him money and he doesn't even know who it is or why. And we're about to find out why, you know, but there's definitely this, you know, because it's not like he's going around fucking doing this shit in weird spaces. And it is weird, though, that Andrew Tate did get arrested yesterday.
It is weird.
Like, you know what I mean? Right after this. And Andrew Tate was like, I shouldn't be talking about this. I don't want any Fed or anybody coming into my door and pulling me back to jail again.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. He manifested it.
Yeah.
But again, I don't trust Andrew Tate. So, and the astrology says that he's lying about a lot of the shit. So,
Man, I mean,
you know, so
I,
it could be exposed. Oh, you know what it is? It's exposing those two guys are part of what the dark is.
yeah.
Right? Because we already know Andrew Tate fucking does hold women hostage for webcam services.
Yeah.
And fucking does the worst shit to them. Right? We already know that that's fucking dark. Then on top of it, I bet you this dude is fucking a piece of shit because it's exposed by just all I had to do was go down and like read about him and what was going on the last couple of months. And it's like, this guy is a piece of shit. And then he's calling out that Jesus and God and shit when he won't even hold himself responsible for having a baby and then leaving the baby's mama, his wife. So he divorced his wife and then he's calling for a new bitch 2 weeks later publicly. And then he's doing it with the one person in the world who's the biggest piece of shit for masculinity in the world is Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to trust with that spot.
Yeah, that's a
You know what I
really
mean?
that's a really confusing subject because like the Andrew Tate thing was always such a big mix of emotions because when you listen to that dude talk, never in my life have I heard somebody make the most valid, intelligent point and then say the stupidest fucking thing you've ever heard in the same breath. So it's like, and he brags about doing it. He brags about his ability to put you in an emotional tug of war, to psychologically break you down, you know?
Right.
And it's like, you'll be listening, you'll see a video clip of him talking about something that really feels like there's good intention behind it to wake people up. And then there'll be another, you know, Megan Fox with a dick.
Right, exactly.
Hulk Hogan with a pussy.
Yeah.
And it's stupid shit, you know? But at the end of the day, I think, you know, you run that big loud ass mouth. I think he's just a textbook, hot-headed, low vibrational Sagittarius. And just that big, loud ass fucking mouth, like you're better than everybody. And that's what happens. Just learn to keep your mouth shut. My whole thing is if you want to wake people up, that's cool. I get that. I'm all for waking people up to understand what's going on, but know when to shut the fuck up. Know when to keep your mouth shut and say what needs to be said when it needs to be said and pull back and shut up when you need to shut up. And, you know, that I don't even know.
You know what? I just thought because you put it and you framed it in a way for me to see, it's like Andrew Tate is a proud Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia is a proud Christian. Right now, there's a war going on that's about to bring in the Christian equation. There's already the Jewish and the, you know, the Iranian state with all of their fucking proxies and this whole battle over fucking Jerusalem and battle over the fucking Holy Land. And all you need is the Christians because there's the battle of that too. You have the Pope right now who's been saying, Ukraine, put up the white flag and fucking surrender and at least, you know, negotiate with Putin. And then the second in command of the Vatican fucking of the Pope just went and said, well, only if Russia stands down first. So it's like they shifted really quick. But then you have Biden who's putting a fucking floating fucking military fucking pier right in between both countries at war right now, where our soldiers will be within a millimeter of the fucking beach. Like no, we're not on the fucking sand.
Yeah.
We're on the water. And it's that Christian thing that's about to come in and fucking cause the, you know, the CERN hydrogen collider moment of you've got both fucking atoms coming at it themselves and they threw in a third tube, the Christians that are about to fucking blah, smash this whole thing together. So you, and that's where you see kind of like that underpinning of Andrew Tate in the interview. Like, are you even okay, bro? You got to get it right. Like he's doing the whole Muslim kind of thing to be like, I don't know. Right. And then, and even Ryan Garcia is just so fucking like, you could tell he's like, I won't take pills or I do anything like that. It's like this fool obviously is probably already on crazy shit or he's fucking lost it. And unfortunately, the astrology says that there's a lot of people who've lost it and that he's somebody who might actually be dealing with schizophrenia and actually think it. And unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to start to realize. And we're in a space when we're dealing with conspiracy or we're dealing with trying to be in the awakening that there's some people who want to be more than they are. And they'll do something as crazy as say they got raped at 2 years old. Do you remember being raped at two? Unless somebody was saying, and he's like, I have proof of that. It's like, okay, then show the proof.
Right.
You haven't shown the proof. I mean, that'd be, I don't know anybody who would want to show the proof, and who would be taking pictures of it. I know there's 6 motherfuckers out there, but why would they give it to you?
Well,
that would be even more sick. And then, okay, if it's that sick, then it's going to be hard, but that's a lot of fucking shit you're going to have to go through, but you're going to have to show that picture like of you getting raped as a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, so where is it? Who are the people behind it?
Yeah.
You don't get into any of that. And then you talk about Bohemian Grove and you use Alex Jones, which is a very schizophrenic thing, almost as if like Alex is talking to me telepathically and I have to do this because he said, I was told to do this by God. Right?
Oh.
So he said that in the other video too. But it's like, okay, if you were told to do this by God, then you would just give everything right away. And he's like, I'm not afraid of dying or anything, but I got to wait because I have to do this at the right time. It's like, okay, so you're contradicting in every part of this. Everything's a contradiction right now.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard. You see Chris Cuomo, who it looks like he's woken up, but then he still holds some of those old values.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's where it's like everything at the same time is happening. And that's, I think, the weird equation coming is, you know, the amount of shit this eclipse will bring up and bring into such an extreme is where we're at. You know, there's not much more time left of there's not much more room left for things to keep growing or expanding. Everything's coming to its pop point.
Yeah, 2024 is the year where a lot of people are going to fall off if you don't have the right intentions in your heart. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a perfect person. None of us are perfect. You know, even those of us in the spiritual community, sometimes we may get things wrong or you know, have an idea that may be a little bit off, but it goes into the intentions of your heart. We see a lot of people, you know, in the spiritual community, tarot readers and whatnot, who, you know, are turning to alcohol and drugs and fucking, like we just saw channelers that.
I mean, we should talk about that.
Yeah. Bashar.
Yeah. And you know, and it was actually through High Vibe in our community that somebody made a post, and somebody just put up a video 2 days ago and took the clips of what Bashar, the channeled alien, said about the vaccine from December 2021 and what he was telling people. And it was literally the biggest bullshit. And to be honest with you, that wasn't channeling. That was his own personal view. This is Daryl Anka mixing in. And so is it really channeling? Is he really a channeler?
Yeah.
Like that just threw his whole thing, especially when he's like, well, the vaccine's fine. It's normal. And then the guy was like trying to find ways to help people.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, so the one about the people who had an allergic reaction, he's like, oh, that's different. But there's still nothing wrong with it. So he didn't give him an answer. And then the other guy is like, my wife's hesitant to get it. And he's like, oh, well, that's because it's based off a fear decision. It's like, no, you just gaslit because the fucking real fear decision was making a vaccine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now it made me think, why was the vaccine so bad? Well, if it was such a gnarly fear-based decision for people to make that shit in a form of control, and then the idea that you're going to manifest that control and fear back is going to be exactly what happens. So obviously, he's not a good alien entity if he's channeling, or in my opinion, I don't think that it's that. I think that Daryl Anka doesn't know how to subject himself from Bashar. That was just proof in those videos.
It is very possible that he, I guess, could be channeling a dark entity, but me personally, I'm very skeptical when it comes to channelers. I'll be honest, there's only one that I've ever heard that has been proven to be really legit. And it's this lady named Michelle Fielding. And I don't even think you can find her on YouTube. You might be able to. But if you go to BitChute, you know that British dude that I share on my Instagram sometimes?
Simon Parks?
No, not Simon. Nicholas Vinyamin.
Oh, yeah.
The young guy about our age. He did a lot of interviews with her about her channelings, and she predicted things like Facebook rebranding to Meta and stuff like that. She made a lot of really crazy predictions that came true. But most of the time, 99.9% of the time, when I'm seeing and listening to somebody channel, I'm stepping back seriously as an open-minded skeptic, if I may. And I didn't even know who the hell Bashar was until Disclosure Fest.
Right.
Because my buddy Case, went to go see Bashar. And we kind of walked in at the end of, like the tail end of his show. And we were just kind of hanging out back there in the back. And I don't know, I felt like, man, that kind of just sounds like me going on a tangent. I don't claim to channel. I just,
right.
Some people say I do. I don't claim to. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But this just sounds like a dude, spitting out his own personal beliefs and his opinions. And not that that's good or bad. I'm not here to bash that. But when you say you're channeling an entity, the 99.9% of the time when I listen to somebody, I'll sit and listen and listen and listen. And then it'll always get to a point where it's something kind of controversial or something really popular, like the vaccine or something like that, that whenever somebody asks them a question, they stumble up on it. Or they say something that's total bullshit. And like at the end of that video you showed me, Bashar is saying, all you need to know is that the vaccine will make your body produce the antibodies that it needs to fight the virus. And I'm like,
right, exactly.
That's a crock of horse shit.
Or he said that we're not allowed to get involved because it's become political and we can't get involved with your politics. Well, then why did you go farther into going into the whole thing if you're not allowed to get into it? If you're an alien that's saying, oh yeah, we can't get involved with the politics, that's already a lie, because if anything, if there really is aliens, they've compromised and made deals with all of our fucking government. That's the truth. So he's a bullshitter being like, we don't get involved, because he actually did get involved.
Yeah.
So it goes to show you that actually, if he really is a channeling alien, well then he fucking is lying to you when he says that we don't get involved with the governments and the politics. They do.
Well,
that's another weird way to look at it. But
with all the things that I've listened to, of all the things that he teaches and all the things he talks about, and the videos of his I've watched where he's doing seminars and whatnot, and during a Q&A, when somebody asks him a question, he just says something that to me sounds like common sense. Like whenever he's talking about things and answering questions and teaching things, it's like, dude, that's common fucking sense. I knew that. This isn't, I want to hear something I didn't know. So to me, if, not saying that his teachings are right or wrong, but when you're claiming to channel an alien and you're just saying things that I fucking teach my audience all the fucking time, either I'm fucking channeling too, or you're not, so.
I just think it's really sad, because it to me, because I do claim, and I am a channeler, and it's not like I'm sitting here channeling right now. Like, I'm in the place to do it, and when I'm doing it, I'm using astrology, right? I'm using a divine ancient practice that has never stopped, right? Things that I can't change. I can't change the planets. I can't change their movements. I can't, right? The irony of his situation is like, he is like actually at that time, December 2021, that's when this whole thing was, everybody was forcing it. They were mandating it on people. And so to witness a channeler mix their human self, in his case, because I guess he channels a fucking one alien only, Bashar, of like how to help society. He fucking blended his own shit there, because he even asked, can you repeat the question? It kind of didn't come out right. It came out clear as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So obviously it triggered him, and he lost the channel and went into his own self. And for him, instead of just pulling out of the channel, being like, listen, this is me now talking.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes with the charade.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying he's a full charade, but that brings a lot of questions when he can't do that. Like, if I'm in a thing and I'm like, you know what, I'm not feeling it, guys. Like, don't take that, what I said. That's just, this is me. I'll admit it. People know that about me.
Yep. That's a big,
right?
Yep.
But the fact that he's saying what Fauci's saying, and then saying, I'm not going to get political because I can as an alien, but then repeating that, or telling his wife also at the same time, like, well, she's making a fear-based decision. It's like, the whole vaccine was a fear-based decision.
Yeah.
Especially when they're forcing it upon you. And he didn't back that shit up. And that's where a lot of people have been asking questions, especially in High Vibe. Like, why has it been since 2013? Every fucking spiritual event I do, Lightning in a Bottle was the first one that I got. It was Bashar and then me. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Right? Then every Disclosure Fest, last year Conscious Life Expo, this year Conscious Life Expo, they put Bashar and I at the same time. And what I've now realized is we are talking about the exact opposite fucking thing. I told people throughout the whole times, every single time, do not fucking trust this shit. Do not. This shit is not going to do good. So it makes me question, like, why so many people heard to this guy when he actually fucking told people that it's okay, and it made the person go, oh, I'm so glad to hear it because I got the vaccine and I've been feeling really weird and something's feeling wrong in my body, but thanks for letting me know that it's safe. And obviously, and he says, follow the data. All the data now says it's not.
Yeah.
Most countries except America do not allow you to get it anymore. Will he come back as Bashar and say, I'm sorry, I fucking fucked that one up. My name is Bolshar. Now, like, no, he's not. He doesn't have the guts to do that shit.
Yeah.
What's sad is Conscious Life Expo just gave him a fucking huge award for being like the fucking, main fucking guy, like the fucking top award.
Yeah.
And I think that, he's done great spiritual service, but I think the big part of this convo is all the spiritual people who were compromised are being exposed.
Yeah.
Especially about pushing a dark agenda. You're not going to make it through. If you were pushing the dark agenda, it's coming out.
Well, if you don't have the right intentions in your heart. It depends on what your intentions are. Like I said, intention supersedes everything. Like, what is your intentions behind what you're doing? And, that's something that it don't matter what everybody thinks your intentions are. Your intentions are between you and the universe. That's it. So it depends on whether or not you can go to bed at night and say to yourself, honestly, my intentions are to awaken humanity. There's a lot of people out there who don't have those intentions.
Right.
And if that's not your intention, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if the financial system was to collapse tomorrow and, currencies weren't worth anything? Would you still be out there trying to help awaken people? Or now that you're not getting paid, you won't do it. You won't go do a speech for free, and like if you don't have that intention in your heart to genuinely help, you're going to fall off. I agree. I seriously believe that 2024 is the year.
It is. And what's really weird is we are at the 4-year anniversary of when all this shit went down, and you see Chris Cuomo and you see Tucker together. And then you see the financial shit, right? Because remember, there was this big boom, and then it fucking was the biggest crash, right? When the fucking pandemic hit. And then it was, we got to print a bunch of money again. And right now, both wars need money. So there's some fucking event happening faster than ever for the fact, like, you have to remember, there's PR people. Why is Chris Cuomo going on all these Republican shows? It's not because just Tucker Carlson became friends, come on my show. Oh, and just so happens I'm going to go on fucking, a podcast with Candace Owens. I'm going to go on a podcast fucking with Valuetainment, right? Like, that's all coordinated, right? So it's now the inverse coordinating it. And then, of course, the same time, Biden and fucking Trump are going to be the nominees. And the State of the Union address was the same one he's given for 3 years straight. If you look at the videos that prove it, it's the same lines. It's the same. He didn't do anything different. He just had to fucking say it louder and more Hitlerish. And who had the same dog as Hitler? Biden does, right?
Yeah.
Same dog. Same pictures of the same dog, right? And Biden's dog is biting people at the White House and shit.
Oh, really?
Or the fake White, or the Castle Rock fucking.
Castle Rock.
Castle Rock fucking LA studios.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, like, people are still in denial of the first pictures of Biden. He's not in the White House. Or the video, he's not in the White House. Like, he's at Castle Rock Studios. You could see the one journalist wanted to show and showed they're not at the White House, but they're at the fucking fake one, and fucking shows it as they're walking in, and Biden with the mask on inside fucking signing all these papers, and the windows are all fucking different.
Yeah. I could probably put that back on Instagram, honestly. I've been going through, I open up my photos and I'll pinch it down real small, and I've been going down to the beginning, just looking at my old shit.
This is the shit that Rich and I do on the weekends.
Yeah,
text each other this shit, fucking,
Yeah, I was going down memory lane, and I'd kind of forgotten that right when the censorship was getting real fucking crazy, every time I saw a real good video, I'd screen record it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this isn't going to be on here for a couple of hours.
I know.
And I got a bunch of them. A whole bunch of fucking shit that, like that one right there where the dude showed the aerial view of Castle Rock Studios and then the reporter and then showed he's not in the White House.
Right.
And so, yeah, man, I seriously think that censorship, it's not going to be censorship this time. We're going to be able to have freedom of information, freedom of speech. People are going to be able to have the freedom to listen to and be drawn to whoever they want, so that, we're going to go through a really scary period. We're going to get right at the gates of World War III. It wouldn't surprise me.
We're gonna have a dock. We're gonna have a dock right at the Gaza fucking border with fucking Israel, and just be like, we're right here. We're already there with Ukraine. Right? Mm-hmm. We're already there. We're already in it. And now we're in it with China, right? Like, oh yeah. And then China, you and I watched, the Chinese government just was like, this is America bullying Chinese people and bullying the Chinese government. Right? So yeah, we're already at it, and it's just gonna get more like encroached upon. And they have to find something to get the money, right? So they're not gonna be using a pandemic, although they're trying to use the measles thing now. But and of course they're saying it's from migrants. Or then the way that you already know you're dealing with the biggest bullshitter is fucking when Biden said yes, especially, okay, the woman who got fucking killed by an illegal fucking immigrant, right? And he's like, yeah, the illegal.
Killed by an illegal,
right?
Yeah.
And then fucking he's like, well, I shouldn't have said that. The next day, right? Oh yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. That was some good fucking Adderall. That's why the Adderall shortage is happening. Biden stole it all and gave it to Ukraine. That's been my prediction for the last 2 years. And I guarantee that's going to come out, because that's what happened in World War II. All Hitler's troops, what happened? Oh, they fucking all were on fucking speed pills. Mm-hmm. So fucking, obviously the Adderall shortage isn't because, the FDA and all this shit. No. Because the articles are showing they're empty. Like the fucking pharmaceutical companies are like, we don't have any pills. Like there's nothing here. Like, where'd they all go? In the dead bodies of 500,000 people in Ukraine right now? Like Zelensky out there dancing fucking and twirling. Eat your Adderall pills and go out there and fucking shell on the Russians. Like, and they all believed it and went. And that's where it gets to. Focus on your own life and your own family and your own friends and your own shit. And whatever the system's trying to push is like cool, like TikTok as an example. But they already gave you the secret message. We're going to ban it in 2020, right? Like if anybody at this point is like a TikToker that's so stressed, it's like, that's why I didn't stay on TikTok or do anything. I'm like, they're fucking trying to ban it in 2020. I'm like, pfft. And I felt that weird energy about it too. It was just like, this doesn't feel normal or weird. So long story short is like, are you really that upset to go march on it? Or even TikTok did a fucking thing when you went on it. I saw screenshots that people put up, like, call your congressman to save TikTok, right? It's like, okay, who's doing that? China? Wow. Okay. And they don't pay anybody, so they're treating everybody on TikTok like slave workers?
They don't pay nobody?
No, they just changed the whole pay structure, and then they want more longer form content, and you're not making money. It's all these people have to shell to go somewhere else.
Oh.
Right? It's not like they're getting paid like us as YouTubers or the YouTube fucking contract, even though we get fucked, but at least they pay, and there's a lot of money in the advertising, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very Chinese. Like look at any TikToker as a sweatshop worker for China. That's what it is. It's a sweatshop. It's a sweatshop of like, make content. Well, here's a couple cents. Here, you made $40.
Oh, wow.
You know, like these people are not like getting fucking, you don't see like, I'm a making bank off TikTok person. You don't see a TikToker being like, fucking look at my mansion, bro. Look at my fucking rides.
I assumed they did.
No.
Oh, wow.
No. Or Rumble, same thing. There's like no money. The people who make the most money on any social media network is fucking X. But you have to get in, and it's kind of hard. Once you get in, they pay you a lot, but then they take you off if you get too many fucking content violations based off community notes.
Yeah.
And then it's YouTube, or if you just make your own network. So I don't know. I think you're right. April, Aries is.
Aries. Yeah.
Especially Mercury is going to be in Aries here until May 15th because it's going to retrograde in Aries and it's going to stay there. So we have Mercury in Aries for fucking 2 months. And it's going to be in fire signs through all of this year for 2 months, right? So people are going to be fired up. It's been Mercury and Earth retrograde all last year, and so there's been all this kind of like, and now it's going to be fire, and everybody's going to be popping off.
Yeah.
So, well, I got to go, but we hope to see you out in Texas. Last tickets are available because we are selling out. So we'll be in Texas, Bastrop, Texas. It's like 40 miles southeast of Austin. And there's still rooms available. So if you actually want a room and cheap room, we've got them. Go to teamlightstore.com/events. And then Rich and I will be there. So many people are going to be there. Fucking, it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like overwhelmed. It's almost unbelievable that it's less than a month away.
Yeah.
And that we're going to be there and we're going to be there for it. And with all people that are down for the light work, full time, like full blown, no bullshitters, no fucking Bashar that's telling you to get the shot. And then, you know, like fucking pretty cool.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that like a couple days ago. I was like, oh my God, that's not even a month from now.
I know. And we're not putting up, you know, pictures that are altered like Kate Middleton and, you know, so.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, hopefully. Because I know that, I don't know if anybody else has heard this, but I've heard talk about something going down on April the 8th. I don't know. But, you know, just in case, hopefully everything is okay. If some shit hits the fan. Because, I mean, we already got the news saying, you know, prepare and get your food ready and make sure you have extra gas. And then there's rumors going around about April the 8th. And I'm like, oh, shit. Well, hopefully everything is okay. If some shit hits the fan or something like that.
It's so random that it's on a Monday too. You know, it's like it's on a Monday, and then I think you and I covered it. All the Christians are like looking at all the town names, and then they're looking at it from the last eclipse, and they're all saying that this is the apocalyptic moment.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go into that. Right, but it is going to be the shock, but it's not shocking if you're already aware. If anything, it's like there's so many doors for your life to be open to continue to do amazing things. Just don't follow the fucking funnels that they tell you is cool. Like,
don't bite the bait.
Yeah, don't bite the bait. And look at everything. Like I look at Tucker, or I look at this Chromo thing, or I look at any of these people that they're not using any spiritual anything. They're literally just repeating what's happening or going to a place that is supposedly where you're not supposed to go to, which is not a great revelation. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's why people go to Alex Jones or David Icke in all these situations. You know why? Because they'll talk about the deeper spiritual effects of it. And and that's where I think that's the problem is like people are going to get over just the political, like, oh, okay. Like I was kind of like, okay, whatever. Chris Cuomo's over there. Like that makes sense. He could be doing it because maybe his brother fucking who's going to be charged in the case over the fucking nursing home thing. They want Trump and they know he's going to win. So they're like, oh, you'll pardon us? Mm-hmm. You know,
ain't no
nobody
telling.
Asked him that.
Yeah, I know telling.
Nobody asked him that because he's, let's be honest, Chris Cuomo is kind of sucking on Tucker's dick right now and sucking on fucking everyone's dick in the Republican Party right now.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's still a good sign. I mean, you know, it's things are moving.
Maybe he was with Ryan Garcia.
Things are just moving so fast. I think it's a good sign. And when I say shock, I don't mean like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I mean like, I never saw it coming that way. I never would have expected it to happen that way.
You know what? Maybe it's Andrew Tate who put Ryan Garcia on as a webcam boy before he became a boxer and looked up to Andrew Tate as the boxer.
Ain't no telling.
Oh, that would be a shock. It wouldn't shock me. You know, like, because that's the whole weird thing is Andrew Tate pops up and kind of like talks to him like he's his father.
Yeah. He looked like Megan
Ryan Garcia. I am your father.
Wow.
I am your father, and it was from Megan Fox, who has a dick. So, who, by the way, she's still with fucking Machine Gun Kelly, supposedly. I saw something about it. Fucking, I was just like, all right, their little blood sacrifice, fun little, like, you know, crazy ass fucking relationship. Like, okay.
That's crazy.
Or like nobody gave a fuck about the Oscars.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a sign to where Jimmy Kimmel, the biggest fucktard ever, who he will be responsible for being the one who fucking came out and told unvaccinated people that he hopes that they die if they have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
He fucking came out and spent a fucking 2-minute thing because they had nothing to talk about and just talk about Trump fucking talking shit. And he didn't even say what Trump said. He only took bits and pieces out. Talk shit on Trump. It's like, or Robert De Niro was just on fucking Bill Maher and just was talking shit on Trump fucking hardcore, like, and fucking calling him a fucking, that he's like a fucking dictator like Hitler. I'm like, okay, like, all right. I guess you don't want to look at the fucking guy who has the same dog as Hitler and who fucking is screaming at the Supreme Court and screaming at people. And
yeah, they're gonna pull some kind of crazy rabbit out of the hat. I'm firmly,
honestly, because you know, as you're feeling, it's Aries, and as an astrologer, I'm feeling it's Aries. Aries, unfortunately, is war.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I wouldn't be surprised that at some point in time in the next couple of months, if we see military on the streets, it wouldn't surprise me. You know,
and if you follow the 4 years ago thing, it was when Mercury was in Pisces and retrograded in Pisces that everybody started to buy the story. So the Mercury retrograde that's coming here before this eclipse in March, when we get into, and there's actually a lunar eclipse that's already happening in about a week and a half. So we have to remember where we're stepping in the eclipses with the Mercury retrograde. The last time we had this Mercury retrograde 4 years ago that was in Pisces, people started to believe the bullshit. And so the Mercury retrograde in Aries, people are going to believe the bullshit about why we have to go to war.
Yeah.
Which would be at the end of this month. So, which already we're almost at. So
we'll get through it though. It'll be all right. Just relax. Yeah. Just no matter what happens, just chill and be like, okay, I'm trusting that everything is happening the way it needs to happen. You know, just think back to 2020. There was no need to shit your pants and go crazy back then. So do this time what you should have done last time and just relax and be like, all right, universe, dude, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to trust you.
Yeah.
About all you can do.
Yeah, that's true. All right, everyone. Thanks for all the support. Make sure you follow Rich, follow me on High Vibe. And I start my lunar or my eclipse masterclass right now after this. And you have a couple courses that you're pushing right now too, right?
Yeah. Well, I just released a new one, The Beginner's Guide to Manifestation. Like I basically took all of my, everything that I've been teaching on manifestation, I just wiped it clean and I started with the basics, you know, so that, like I said, my number one goal is to be able to explain it in a way that I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, you can take it and you can apply it to your life. Now, there's going to be an intermediate course to manifestation coming later, but if you're a beginner, maybe you've heard about it and just don't know what to do, or maybe you have tried it and it isn't working. If you check this course out, The Beginner's Guide to Manifestation, and you don't make something happen in your life, it's because you just simply choose not to.
Right.
And that's fine.
That's fine.
But for the people who really want to know how to make it happen, that course will help you understand how to get on the path. So.
And where do they find that? At tarotwithrich.com?
Yep, tarotwithrich.com under all my courses.
Yeah, and then just go to highvibe.tv, click on Eclipse Masterclass and log in if you already are a High Vibe member. If not, you can just purchase the school and be a member through that, just school only, and not be part of the subscription, and still have access to Apple TV, Roku, or any of your apps or the website, and you always have access to it forever. I'm starting that in the next 15 minutes. All right, much love, everyone. Thanks for all the support. We've been getting lots of support. We had 700 people in here, so.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
Thanks for sharing the show. we don't ever ask, but if you could share the show and get this out to people. I mean, on Facebook, we've blown up.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, you know, it'd be great to share the YouTube video and so forth. Much appreciated. And we'll see you all in the next one. Yeah. Adios. Go to Texas, teamlightstore.com/events.